Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lucid, and I'm here alone again. I'll have Sakane joining us probably in a future episode, but yeah, we've got a turn for you here, and Sakane went and scripted this one, so we'll go ahead and see how it happened. I came and did a few changes here at the end, just some small things, but let's look at the turn. So we've cast Voice of Apsu, didn't find anything. Cast Voice of Apsu again, found the fairy. This actually is a 2-gem site. A water and a death gem. Very nice. And then we had some magic phase attacks. We've also had a ton of mind hunts going off, but he hasn't killed anything yet. It's been extremely unsuccessful as far as mind hunting goes. And we've been having a lot of chaff bait, and we've put a little bit of MR gear on our dudes, but he's probably gotten a little bit on the unlucky side, but I think he's also doing it without pin gear. So this is a magic phase on top of just a pile of garbage. It's an air Melquirt. And he actually snipes the commander in the back. And these guys are going to start dissolving. And yeah, so that's that battle. And that's minus about 79 or 69 dudes. Down here... this is another magic phase attack. This one's a little more dicey because there's mages. And the basic idea here is this guy's going to jump in the back. These guys are going to summon some air elementals, or fire elementals, then do fire shield. They should have done... I should have done mist form and then fire shield and then a big air elemental. We're going to end up losing one of them. This guy's going to jump in the back now. And... let me show you what's happening in the back real quick. So he's back here. He's going to slowly route these things. They had bodyguards, though, so... it's actually a little dicey back there. But here, one of these guys, they're fatigued out. They get murked. But about the time they're getting murked, he is back here punching things in the face. And sadly, he didn't get any of the mages. The mages ran. So... all in all, this probably wasn't really worth it for us. We magic phased, which cost a lot of gems. We lost to Shaitan with a little bit of their gear. And we killed some chaff. Now, it is significant killing this chaff because we're getting him to a critical point where he doesn't have enough armies to really fight us. Right now we have a pretty big armies advantage, and chipping away at it now is pretty valuable. But this thing in isolation, not a very good trade. And then we had, we successfully corrupted a Thaumaturg. We had a battle with the Thaumaturg. Thaumaturgs are basically going to get wrecked every time. This guy had 4 bodyguards, so we'll see what happened here. I think the Buffalo just tramples them. And I can't remember if we have... oh yeah, this guy was on attack rear with a Demon Blade, so... yeah. And that is that. The dog wants to play with me. So we didn't actually have many corruptions going on this turn, only 3. Leave him alone. All right. We had a battle here. He attacked us. We had actually a fair amount of PD from before, and it's just a super low commitment thing. He probably could have won this if he did Blessing. I mean, Body Ethereal, Body Ethereal. But Iron Blizzard here, pretty effective, but we managed to just barely kill these guys before the Iron Blizzard routes us. So... this guy is pretty potent for a Recruit Anywhere mage that can go and fluff. He didn't quite script him right, but go and fluff and then do Iron Blizzard. It's pretty effective. However, didn't work here. And then he moved off our fort, so we moved in everybody to have a big attack. We did a lot of thinking about how this attack was going to go. And he pieced out, leaving only one dude behind. Didn't even kill him. We then had a battle here in Whiskey Valley, or Liskin Valley. This is our fort he's been camping on for several turns. The Thaumaturgs we killed in those assassin battles we just watched were Thaumaturgs from this army. He moved another one in. But the problem now is he's not really going to be able to bless everybody. And the problem there is that means they're not going to have magic weapons, and we're going to have fog warriors, and it's going to be very bad for him. the reason we hadn't been attacking... He's been sitting comfortably on this fort for a while. The reason we haven't been attacking it is because he's had enough reserves that if he moved everybody on top of this army, then there would be too much stuff if we attacked it the wrong turn when he reinforced it with a ton of stuff and a ton of mages. So, because we had that big battle last turn that we won, we felt much more confident taking this one, not because of scripting or anything like that in particular, but just we knew they couldn't move in significant enough reinforcements. In fact, I'm very shocked. We were expecting them to move off the fort, but they decided to camp here, which, yeah, I don't know. I think one of the players was on vacation, and so instead of it being a brain trust, it's only one guy. And I think that has something to do with it. And let me turn on the team-colored squares, because otherwise we can't see anything. And I'll be quiet, because I know you won't be able to hear me over the battle volume. So there were all the earthquakes. All the chaff is gone. And now it's just these guys. Now, some of them are blessed, but most of them are not. And we just had Fog Warriors go off. And so some of them, like... I think the blessing hit these dudes. Some of them, like this guy, will probably die still. But most of them were not blessed. And, like, here's a good example of why you don't want to be outnumbered. Like, these two bears are busy hitting skeletons, while this Gamherding's in the corner chopping them to bits. Yeah. Hit Werebear in the body for 42 points of damage. But you can see where the guys who got blessed and are able to kind of make contact are able to kill these Garms, or these Churgeons. But this battle was over very, very, very quick. It was basically over in the first couple of rounds. And if we look at the battle report for this, we lost 4 Churgeons. We got a Dragon Helmet. And on his side, he lost, well, everything, of course. He had 1 unit escape. I think it was an Ananqui that got away. Which is too bad, because killing an Ananqui is a pretty good thing. Not only does that turn off the Beast Bat engine, but these are slow to recruit out of the capital, and they're really expensive mages. They're almost $600. So they're very, very, very expensive, but they're very good. So anyway, getting rid of these guys, pretty good. And of course, it cost us almost nothing. When we look at the Sacreds, we killed 33 Seir, and we killed 27 Chud. Now, one of the interesting things, and we'll come back to the battle reports, but one of the interesting things that happened this turn is, so Pinpappy is under control of Mammon, but Elshu's been making a play for it. And there was a big Mammon army, I believe in this throne, though it could be a different one. I think it's this one. And it is marching towards Elshu's capital. This army that is leaving doesn't have a ton of mage support. It has some, but it has way more sacreds than any of the armies that we had to fight, or that we have fought so far. Like, it's like 70 Seir or 70 Chuds. It's a big army of sacreds. What we're fighting are predominantly free spawn with some sacreds in, like a significant portion of sacreds, but nothing like what he has. Okay, so Elshu's trying to figure out how to deal with it. I talked with them a little bit, because they were wanting to kind of chat it up about it, and I gave them some ideas. The main part of the battle plan, which was already theirs, which was casting darkness and having their elves, which have really high defense, form a line that these guys are going to struggle to hit through. Unfortunately, once they go berserk and stuff, they have really high attack even in darkness. They will eventually hit. So he needs a way to kill them. He has a ton of air mages. He has all of these... let me show you the mage. Hermit Sahirs, which are these things. Wait, Elshu. These guys are no the Sahirid. What are they? Sahirs. Anyway. Yeah, they're air too. So I think he's just gonna do an overwhelming amount of Thunderstrike and Darkness, and I think that will work. I think that will work. Especially he probably should do Wind Guide and stuff too. I wish we could watch the battle. I don't really have many scouts in this area though. Where's Elshu's capital? Yeah, we don't have any scouts over here. I might, if he sends me a message, maybe I'll get him to send me a message of some of the battle, like screenshots in the report when it happens, and I'll try to put that up whenever that happens. But yeah. So that was Liskin Valley. Glistening Woods, we're moving our big army here on top of this fort. And of course we one turn cracked this fort we're standing on because we've got 1,400 siege strength. And then Behemoth's Rest, we hit with the Plague Doctor. So we did a pretty significant amount of raiding this turn. And this guy, we knew we were going into heavy cap PD, so we got an Earth Elemental out pretty early, and he took pretty good care of them. In Griffin's Rock, we had another raid. This time he's sending in some Knights of the Chalice, and remember, these guys are expensive. They're 50 gold a pop. And sadly, we don't really make great contact with our Churgeons at the beginning, so we took a bit of attrition here. I lost 30 long dead, but, you know, these guys are not cheap. This is $300, and this guy probably died retreating, so I don't know. It's almost $400 total when you look at all of it for him. And we destroyed a temple, so in total $900 of damage. And that's something I didn't mention with this other one. We destroyed a temple here too. So a lot of damage being done to ctalis. And he's playing Middle-Aged Satis, which again has that disease dominion. So knocking down these temples is actually really helpful. This army here was chasing our little raiding squad we had on top of a fort. And this would have murdered probably the long dead we had on top of that fort. But we left, and he moved on top of the fort. Here, this is him moving on top of this other fort that we had a smaller squad on. And this is 40-something mages. This is a very big commitment from him. And, you know, this has a bunch of things. It has this guy who's got, well, a disease, but a lot of air gems. And then he's got his Haggadrots down here, which... or Hanggadrots, which have just a ton of I think this guy's just being a gem mule, but these guys, like, he's a turn 1 Fog Warriors, presumably. And this is turn 1 Storm, maybe. So, he has all the tools to make fighting him very difficult. However, we have a secret weapon, which is we can turn 0 Fog Warriors and then do bone grinding, and our bone grinding goes before his. Fog Warriors goes off. So we can still kill the whole Mage Corps, but we need a critical mass. We need probably... 3 is really best. We can get 3 bone grindings off. 2 will sort of do it, but 3 would be great. We'll come back and talk to that, but... he raids here. This one actually... yeah, that one's successful. We were successful here. That was just a tiny bit of PD. Successful here. Let me check these. This one also knocked the temple down. So we've knocked 3 temples of his down this turn. And this is Elshu with his don't worry, not very scary elves. They're re-sprited to not look so goddamn scary. However, they're 23 protection with glamour. And I don't think we're going to be able to see any... yeah, we don't have any sacreds here to look at, but... if they get Blood Surge, it gets real high. 23, yeah. So, let's say they're 22. Let's go back up and look at this battle real quick. I want to see how they're going to do. And so these guys got blessed. 19 attack. It's going to drop down to 13. Now these guys... Okay, this guy's gone berserk. 22. This is going to drop down to 16. 16 versus 22 will still hit every once in a while. But they'll dodge a lot. I think it can work. The thing is, those Haggadrats aren't going... Or not the Haggadrats. His Cav are not going to... They're not going to hold up long. But they will hold up. And this defense is especially good while Glamour's active. So if he's able to get a critical mass of air mages and just pummel them with thunder strikes while these guys are sitting here tanking for like 2 turns, I mean, I haven't tested this, I don't know, but I'm just saying intuition-wise, I feel like these guys will probably hold the line for like three turns or something, or 4 turns, but he really needs to kill them in that amount of time. So we'll see. But actually having the Sacreds alone without a ton of chaff, like the fact that he has so much chaff up here against me is really going to help El Shu, because having to fight the chaff plus the Sacreds is a lot harder, because basically the Thunder Strikes aren't going to target the Sacreds. It's going to probably target the chaff, because the Sacreds have shock resistance. So having the Sacreds mostly alone is going to make it much easier to deal with them with evocation spam. So that's happening over here. And I think that is it. For events, we lost some taxes, got some unrest. Don't mind any of that. Caught some scouts. And yeah, so Sack and I were talking a fair bit about the turn. And there's a few things. One is, Sack is worried diplomacy is going to turn against us. And from my perspective, I don't think it makes sense for Gripazon to attack us. First of all, because if they want anything, they can negotiate for it. Like if they want any of the ctalis land, we'll give them huge portions of it. And we could probably even be talked into giving them, I don't know, some border land over here too. But the problem with these guys is they need... Well, first of all, they can get land over here. And then the second that these guys attack, they're going to be in trouble. It's also a bit of an awkward war. Right now, once we have all of ctalis, it won't be awkward. I mean, if we have all of ctalis, I don't know what's going to happen. But I forget why, though. Sack and I were talking about it more, and we didn't think it made sense for him to attack us. I mean, one of the main reasons is he's got to always worry about these guys, and he's also got to worry about the elves attacking. They could. I don't think they will. I don't think it makes sense when they could get stuff for free. Because we'll give them stuff for free, probably more than they would be able to get from us. What does, however, make sense is I believe because the war has gone in our favor, which this was not, by the way, a war we chose. Mammon declared war on us, and these guys, we tried very hard to talk them into being on our side, which actually would have been better for the game state if they were on our side. Because if they were on our side, they would get a lot of the spoils, we would get much less. Like, we would get less of Mammon. And now we're going to end up with a ton of their stuff, too. So we're really getting out of control. Because we're getting out of control, even though it wasn't anything of our choosing, it would make sense now for the elves to turn on us, the Helves. They're done with this war with Ankariarchos. They should probably declare war on us. Now, there's nice things about declaring war on us, which is we could maybe steal a bunch of those smiths, which... Don't you think for a second, Sack and I haven't thought about that. And I think we have the tools to fight them, but we would probably have to reposition a lot of our units, and we would probably have to go back more into a defensive war. But if that does happen, they're supposed to count down their non-aggression pact with us. We could sneak in. I mean, we could do all sorts of diplomacy. Like, Mammon would probably peace out with us if we returned a fort to them or something. And then we could let them fight El Shu while we eat ctalis and fight the elves. I think either of those scenarios, though, we end up going out of control. Like, we're getting to this point, and it was in no ways like a foregone conclusion, but just this war with Mammon has gone much better than Zach and I dared expect. We thought we would win, but we did not think we would win so cleanly. But we've been trying really hard. Like, we're spending a lot of time thinking about things. Did a bit of testing, but honestly, most of it's not testing. A lot of it is thinking. Thinking what they're going to do, looking real hard at all the possible moves, thinking about our scripting, and we've just clobbered them in every battle. So, anyway, it does make sense for the elves to attack us now, because we are going completely out of control. Yeah, so that's basically that. For moves this turn, Zach has done the moves. We talked about them a fair amount, so I can explain to you. We're probably going to take this fort. This is a really nice fort. Not only can we get witches here, which is great because they're disease healers, which is always great to have. I think we actually have disease healer site over here too. But anyway, still nice to have. And it's also 5 freaking gems a turn, which is amazing. So I think we're going to storm this. There shouldn't be too much inside. I probably should put a unit or two out here too. Let's get one of these guys. So, here's the thing. He probably needs to come and kick us off. If he kicks us off, his god is up. He's got the Frost Father. So that means he can do some things that are going to stop our Earthquake cheese that we had been doing. He can do turn 1 Mass Flight, which is the counter to Earthquake turn 1. So we're thinking he does that, and he attacks with everything. The thing, though, is now that all of his good chaff is gone. He's got none of the good sacreds. He's just got boars and beast bats. And beast bats, he's got a little bit of long dead, but not a ton. This army's mostly actually boars and maenads, which are kind of garbage. Especially when we have fog warriors and mass protection and darkness, because the boars are going to get hit every turn, and fog warriors is going to really hurt the amount of damage that comes from trample. And we've just got a huge ass army. It may actually, well, we've only got 500 dudes here. It may actually be good for us to bring a few more dudes. I think this would actually be a good idea, because he's going to have so much stuff. I think it would be good to have a little bit more in the dude department. Okay. So, where was the guy coming over? Should have this guy attack none. I'll go after something random. So, but our plan, we don't really want to take fair fights, because fair fights we're going to trade a lot, and I think we would win just based off having a bunch of long dead in our sacreds chopping things up when he just has a bunch of garbage. We've burnt through most of his thaumaturg hordes. There's a fair amount of thaumaturgs here, and there's some here, but I'm not sure. I don't think they can make it all the way over. So really we're looking at probably all the Anonqui in his capital, plus the thaumaturgs here. Plus all of these armies, which total up to about 1,000. And right now our army is only about 100. And if we had won this battle really cleanly before doing Earthquake spam. Right, we had cleared out all his chaff, we'd evened the field, and great, right? Well, he has the tools and probably the knowledge and, presumably the research to stop that. What I think we're going to do, not what I think, what we're planning on doing is we're planning on magic phasing in this guy, Fegamer. And he has enough gems to do Fog Warriors and then Earthquake. Now, the Earthquake will happen before we get off our turn 1 Mass Flight. This will happen at 175 divided by 2, and which is going to be more than 75. I forget the exact number, but anyway. This will happen after our earthquake. So we're going to earthquake things, which can fuck up some of our spell casting, but it will also go off before his mass flight. So it's going to potentially clear a bunch of chaff, and we're going to be mostly protected from it with... And there's also a chance we get mass protection off, because this has the same time. I think it will go off later, but anyway. Anywho, but we're going to have Fog Warriors on, which means we'll only take 1 damage. Now, it could still interrupt some of our spells, which is significant. However, that is even not the real play. The important part, though, is getting Fog Warriors on, because with Fog Warriors, we are doing 3 bone grindings, and they're turn 1 bone grindings. And what that means is bone grinding goes off before Fog Warriors, and Fog Warriors is the counter to bone grinding. So normally, if you were to do it, you probably wouldn't want to do it before, you wouldn't want to do it turn 1 because you would want to put your own Fog Warriors up. Well, we have these guys who can put it up before they can get Fog Warriors up. And what that's going to mean is there's going to be a boatload of armor negating damage that's going to clear all of the chaff that they're bringing and all of the mages that they have, except for the Inoqui and the Beast Bats and the Boars. So then we just have to fight them, but presumably all the Maenads will be gone. And most importantly, I think, really, is we kill the mages. And it's also going to afflict his stuff pretty badly. It's going to afflict our stuff real badly, too, because all our guys here are cursed. Like, this army is going to be pretty fucking worthless, if you'll excuse my French. Because with curse and 3 bone grinding setting, even if they're only taking 1 damage, they're all going to get a lot of afflictions. So there's not much to do about that. But we need to win this battle. If we win this battle, it's basically going to secure us Mammon's capital. And with their capital, they're basically hosed. They can't get their god back once we kill him. And, none of the cap-only sacreds, no more Inoqui. They're basically hosed. The problem, though, is that may also trigger diplomacy to go south. So, anyway, this is a pretty fancy little trap. And getting all the people here... there's some tricks to it. Like, some of the guys have to come from this fort, but if they magic phase this, it could block it, even though I don't think that's actually true, because they can move through this, because there's a river passage. But anyway, we're protecting this just in case. We're moving these guys here in the normal phase, and I'm magic phasing in a Shaitan. So, yeah, that's happening. And then... we probably don't actually need to magic phase that Shaitan in. Especially since we can move through this fort, and this guy's sitting here patrolling. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to take this Shaitan off of magic phase duty. We'll just have these guys move in. Give them a few more slaves. Yeah, it's Magic 2 here, so they're going to be able to get this script fully off. So we'll see. That'll save us a few air gems. I guess this guy can blood hunt or something. Wait, where is this guy going? Oh, he's moving back up. We'll let him take this. We've got this guy patrolling too, who probably doesn't need to. Let me, sorry, I'm doing a little micro. I get so easily distracted anytime I see some micro I can do. Let's give this guy a second thing, because I think we're going to be able to get another dude. And let's have this guy summon a Mound King. So we're going to need to, I want to get, summoning a Mound King will basically mean this guy can stop patrolling, which will be excellent. So anyway, we're protecting this. Well, really, we're protecting this because we'll be able to 2 province move through here. So our guy should be able to make it. And he could only really... He doesn't have a lot of magic phase options. He could do like maybe Horde from Hell or something. Or he could do send his god in. I don't think he wants to send his god. If he sends his god, he can't do mass flight here, and he's going to get wrecked by earthquake. By the way, I mean, he's going to get wrecked by earthquake a little bit anyway, but we have other people casting earthquake, like this guy is, but this is going to be after mass flight in the fort battle, so I think that'll be okay. Anywho, we've also got assassin protection gear on our guys. These guys are going to be super freaking hard to assassinate. So most of our important spells are protected. The Shaitan aren't really protected from assassin spam, but they're also pretty good in assassin battles. We'll see. I say that. They would get wrecked by Anankwi assassins, but I don't think he's got a lot of Anankwi assassins running around, but we'll see. So anyway, that's the thing, and we needed a certain amount of crystal matrices. Now, because we had to put a lot of our crystal matrices to try to win this battle, now Sack actually tested this. We have been testing most of our battles, but he didn't trust me when I was saying we could win with bone grindings, and he found out I thought we would win with 2 and a couple earthquakes. You know, because this earthquake is going to go off from this guy before mass flight. But anyway, Sack tested it or something, said we needed 3, so that's good. Could have saved us from losing an army. Here we are going to basically just roll out here. And this is a pretty minimal crew. It's just enough guys to do mass... we should actually load this guy up with 2 more. It's enough guys to do mass protection... Not mass protection. To do some of our critical spells and buffs. And... Wait, this guy's coming and we don't have... enough gems for earthquake? Okay. Wait, do we have... When's our mass flight? We're not even doing mass flight. Why do we have this guy coming... Oh, wait, this guy's doing it. This is too late. We're going to have to do hold a turn and then earthquake. We're going to sneak this guy with some more air gems. Wait, who else is coming from this province? I'm going to sneak one of these guys over here, too. We're going to give him some air gems. So I want to make sure we have enough to storm. We're going to want mass flight to storm. Oh, wait, this guy's doing fog warriors and then that? Maybe we just cancel on the earthquake idea? And just do like strength of giants and stuff? I feel a little better about that. We definitely don't need this to do strength of giants. So we'll decrease our gear commitment here. Anyhow. We should be okay. This is definitely the weaker of the 2 armies, even though it has more sacreds. It's got worse mage support. That should pop this. This, by the way, is another excellent province. 4 gems. Very nice. And this is the first gate, which would be kind of game-changing for us to get it. Or not game-changing, but a significant optimization, since we will get Shaitan for a whopping, I think, 8 gems off, or 8 slaves off. Shaitan will then cost us, I think it'll be a discount of 8, so I think it'll be 65, which will be super sweet if we cast it from here. So... yeah, we'll be very happy with that development. The problem, though, is if we win this, we basically are going to win the game. Well, that's not really true. I mean, basically we're going to have to fight Elshu and the elves and Gripazon. The question is when. But yeah, I guess we'll hopefully we have enough time to get some leverage out of this before the shit show happens. But if we start winning in that coalition war, then we'll have won. And I don't know. I was looking forward to the game going a bit later, but it's already kind of late. It's turn 50. Okay, so... yeah, that's what's happening. I think we'll be able to take both of these fights. And then down here, because we had to use all those crystal matrices up north, we didn't actually have them available we wanted to roll out an attack on top of this fort. Because it's a super high mage commitment. We know we could kill it with bone grinding. The problem, though, is he's now seen, because he left this guy here. He got to see our Master Brain. He got to see all of our mages. I don't know if he can figure out what we're going to do. It's probably possible. Like, if I saw this, I would figure out this is bone grinding, especially with this guy with air gems for turn 1. He doesn't know our script, but he knows our mages and how many gems they have. And I think they'll be able to figure out what we're planning. And the problem if they figure out what we're planning, there are counters to it. Like, one of the counters to bone grinding before turn 1 bone grinding is Hat of the Magi, which gives you faster casting 30, which lets you get Fog Warriors off turn 1. So that's something he could do. Now, that would take the head slot on the... He'd have to build a different air booster, basically. But anyhow. We'll see what he's planning. I think what he's going to do is move this army up here and patrol. And if he does that, we're going to just gym bait it with this guy who's twice born, and hopefully he doesn't get soul slayed. And he's going to summon a bunch of Lamashtas while these guys die. If he attacks us, which I think is another very possible move, if he does that, then this guy should also be present. And he should gym bait here on top, which is fine. Our rating has gone excellently down here. We're moving a few things around. We're doing this guy who will probably die. Let's see. This is Drain, though, so it's actually not going to be very effective. I think we're better off just doing Imp Imp. Well, I think what we're going to actually do is Imp Spells. And this way, this guy will probably run. He'll be a little fatigued out from the Imp, but... and then summon an Earth Elemental. This would take care of a small raid. I don't actually think he's going to raid here. If he does, I expect it to be low commitment. Maybe he raids here. These knights can come out and raid. But we have Air Milkworts ready to be deployed. What I think is another very possible move is he takes this army, which was chasing this, and that he continues to chase it here. If he does that, we're going to have a pretty nasty surprise for him with this Buddha and Iron Warriors, who's going to buff this dude, and then Skelly spam behind him while he runs in and kills everything. And I think this... I mean, we have to worry a little bit about Iron Blizzard, but I think this will just absolutely wreck that army. Meanwhile, the full army is going to move here, keep going deeper and deeper into enemy lands. No more temples to knock down quite up here, but this, by the way, is very close to their cap circle. So we're starting to hit them from both sides. They're in deep, deep, deep trouble. But yeah, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, which things never do, we'll take this fort. We'll be able to take some of the gear off of it, like the bone grinding gear, which hopefully we won't need because we'll have killed all this stuff. And we'll be able to shift some of that gear down here. And then we'll be able to go on the offensive again. And maybe he hasn't figured out our script or hasn't come up with a counter for it. We really want to get this fort because we really want to get these sages. So, yeah, but that's basically it. Otherwise, things are going pretty good. The economy's humming along. We're trading every turn with Vinland too. They're making us matrices at cost. We can make matrices ourselves. It would just take one of our Malakwi turns, like we're making one here. But they get 4 gems of profit out of it. So it's certainly in their benefit to do it. And we want to kind of help them out just to be friendly. And it will also be just a good test. If things are starting to sour with them, they may stop doing that. Now, they still have to send us our 5 gems a turn from Mother Oak, but if they start getting super concerned, I do expect the matrices to turn off. But yeah, guys, it's things are going way better than we expected. And yeah, I mean, these guys are playing pretty good, but they're not bringing as much A game as we are. I feel like I think they could have won a lot of these. I think in some ways we have different tools that they don't have. Like we have Magic Phase, which allows us to do some fancy things. and the assassin tax is pretty high, and but really the thing is we're using these brains really well. We're not even using our Malakwi yet. Our Malakwi literally haven't done anything to speak of. We're about to. I mean, we've been using them the past couple turns, but they haven't participated in a meaningful battle yet. They've just been chasing around ctalis. Possible this turn they do, but we've just been using crystal matrices on top of our mages with having these communicants. So, yeah, I think we've actually been kind of out finessing them, which is kind of cool. And it's one of the things that, and we'll close on this, but people were saying our nation was weak in the mid game. I was like, I don't think so. We have some freaking amazing mid game stuff we can do. We don't need the Malakwis. With just our slaves, I mean, our slaves early can feed massive imp summonings, right? So that was if we got rushed. But then we were planning on earthquakes and stuff from the very beginning. I don't know if we talked about bone grindings too early. So yeah, there's a lot. Okay, we're gonna close on actually a different thing. We'll look at score graphs. So score graphs, you can see we're in a very good situation here in this. It's not quite a 2v1. We're fighting probably like 60% of mammon and 100% of ctalis. It's like 1.5. And El Shu is fighting only mammon. So anyway. But despite that, this war is going tremendously well for us in terms of provinces. In terms of forts, we're getting more forts, which is great. I think this is not from building. We're definitely not building any more forts now. Income, finally starting to go up. We're probably catching up with ctalis here. We're probably past them. Wait, who is this? Gripazon, though, is probably in number 1 for income still, because they've made a bunch of conquests as this is all kind of finished and taken a few more forts. So I fully expect they're number 1 in income. Gym income, you can see we were pretty much tied with these guys. A lot of our gains here, though, have been at the expense of mammon. So I believe mammon's probably down here, and we're up here. So we're now in a very clear position 1 for gym income. So income, we're position probably 2. Gym income, we're position 1. Provinces, these guys are probably actually pretty close to us. They're probably right here. So really, these guys and us are really in position 1 and 2. It's going to be really interesting to see how diplomacy plays out. I think they don't want to fight us, but very soon they're probably going to need to, because if we eat ctalis and mammon, they basically are going to have to. The thing is, what do they want to do before that? And there's an argument to be made to finishing with the elves, but I think the elves would probably be better helping against us. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Research, we're number 1, I think. Mammon had a very steep slope, but this is almost certainly trickled off. I bet you mammon is like right here, or maybe even here. I bet you their slope has really gone down. They've had to mobilize a lot more mages than we have. And we mobilized mages, but we didn't mobilize our research items. Our research items have stayed deployed, so that's good. And we've been hitting some of his mage centers with assassins too, so it's also very possible that Gripazon has passed us in research. They were humming along. And Vinland, which was... Oh, well, theirs isn't that high. I don't know why theirs isn't that high. Because they should have their lanterns on everybody. They probably just don't have enough income to have a lot of mages. I think that's what it is. But they're doing fine on income. I mean, on research. Who... Wait, where's Inkyriarchos? Oh, these guys are dumpster research. Just dumpstered. Yeah. They have to... These guys play at winning is a throne rush when they take down Sea of Ice. I think that's the only way they're going to win. I think they're already pretty irrelevant. They may be up here, but... I was really worried about them. If they had gotten all of the land in Zan and Maryland didn't attack them when they did, they would be in a much, much better position now. And they would have been raiding and just maybe snowballing. But I think putting up Sea of Ice and then them kicking them off the land, they have really just cut the balls off of Ankariarchos. Though we'll see. Maybe they have something else planned for us. I think they're completely boned this game. I think they're completely boned. And Dominion, this is one of the ones I really wanted to show. Because you can see we're really struggling. We've been pumping Blood Sacrifice, but it hasn't really been doing much. I mean, we're position 1 for Dominion, but this is normally not what a graph looks like when you turn Blood Sacrificing on. So, a little unfortunate. Some of this is a critical mass thing, and some of it is getting the actual, like, more Melkorts out to do it. Because right now we got a lot of Holy One dudes doing it, so... You know what? I need to get some Thaumaturgs we steal, doing some blood sacrificing, etc. But once we get this blood sac going, hopefully this will really pick up. And this is our real path to victory, is Dominion. Because we're going to do Galegate and Dark Skies and stuff later. And army size, these guys were shooting up past us, but I expect they are down probably right around here. Is my guess. And if we have another big battle, I think they're going to drop down to like right here. And at that point, they'll basically be done. So we'll see. They have one more important battle, and I hope they do something really cool, but we have a really fancy trap planned for them. It's also possible they wait. They might wait for more reinforcements. But as they wait, we're going to be taking infrastructure, which is going to be very hard for them to come back from. So, that is it. And anyway, hope you all have enjoyed the episode. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.